All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 88 of the Productivity Academy Weekly Q&A. Today's 27th of June. Man, summer is cranking along. And today we're going to be talking about setting up an automated feedback loop for your business. So getting that customer feedback in all sorts of different areas and doing this without having to spend a ton of time. Which isn't to say that it has to be all automated or that we want to get the person or the human factor out of this, but a lot of times we forget that sometimes people may not want to always talk directly to us, or they may like to give some feedback at a time after they've interacted with you, whether it's at your website or somewhere else, and that giving people those opportunities to kind of express things in their own words can be really, really helpful. It doesn't matter if you're a consultant, if you're running a brick and mortar business, services, whatever it is. So setting this up can be really powerful and let you iterate and adapt and even create new products sometimes. So we're going to talk about that. I think that this is widely applicable and something that we tend to overlook or think that is too complicated. And a little bit of automation along with some planning and then some review on the back end can go a long, long ways for this. So that is the scheduled thing I want to talk about. Of course, if you are in the Real World Productivity group, you can ask questions. If you're not, and if you're watching the replay, you can find the link down below. Come join us in the free group. If you're into productivity, automation, time management, all that sort of good stuff, then that's the place that you want to be. Which reminds me, if you are checking out the replay, that's awesome. Appreciate you watching. If you have any questions, leave a comment. Definitely get back to you. And please subscribe down below. Hit the subscribe button. Stay up to date with these weekly Q&As, as well as app reviews and updates. You can check out the channel and check out all the other videos and see if that's your thing. And you'll get notified of those. So with that said, let's get into it. So like I said, I wanted to talk about something that I think is really important, and whether it's something I've done or rather it's something I have done for myself for consulting, it's something I've done for the businesses I'm a part owner of, it's something I've helped people set up, and there's even entire books written about this, about getting customer feedback and how you can use this to speed up processes, to create better products, to give a better customer experience, to make your job as a business owner easier instead of trying to guess what people are feeling or what people want. One of the ones I'm most familiar with, I think that in the for me in the internet realm, Ryan Levesque, definitely his book Ask did a lot to kind of popularize this in terms of setting a process out about how you can do this. And I think he's got some great insights. I read that book now a couple of years ago, maybe a few years ago. And there's a lot to it, and I would suggest anyone who wants to really dive deep into this stuff should definitely go that path, because what I want to talk about is just getting something up and running. I talk to a lot of people, and their feedback process is, if somebody submits a contact form, I follow up with them, or maybe if they call or they refund, we reach out. And there's no really systematic way of getting feedback from customers on, really important areas. Things like, what do you like best about, either the product or the brand? What do you not like? If it's e-commerce, what almost stopped you from buying, or what did stop you from buying? Is there anything that you wish that we offered you that, you didn't see and you're like, this just felt like it was missing? Things like that. Getting this feedback is great and just helps to make the experience better. So let me just lay this out. Got it set up on the other monitor here. So let me go with the presentation mode. So this can be really pretty simple. This doesn't have to be terribly complex. So just to kind of show this a little bit better about what I mean, you could have like an email go out. Okay, let's say you have a business with an email list, and you could just send out an email that says, hey, in order to better help or better provide services or whatever it is, again, I would appreciate it if you take a couple minutes to answer these questions. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I just want to find out more about how I can help you. And so long as that's true, people generally tend to respond. I do this with the Productivity Academy, and people answer that. I send it out about once a month. It's also part of new subscriber emails, because I do want to know, if I'm sure that there's areas that will come in that I may not be aware of, or that people, over time, it may change what they're interested in. I definitely want to know about that. Another way you could do this, I said text messaging. That may be more for feedback for like a service-based business, but this can be great for people like contractors or anything else where you're dealing mostly maybe with text updates, or you're asking people for reviews, things like that. And this also could just be on your website. Could be like I'm familiar with Hotjar. I think there's other software where you can ask for feedback on the website, maybe through a timed pop-up or a little the dialog box in the corner. But basically from that, it goes into a survey. And again, I talked about this briefly, but the survey questions you want to ask are generally non-leading, right? You don't want to, ask people if, did you think my YouTube videos were the best thing ever? You're probably going to get some not so great responses. But if you want answers to a specific question, feel free to ask them. And again, I like seeing these surveys, and I filled them out from time to time if I like the brand. I'm trying to think, the last one I filled out was for Time Mueller. I'm really enjoying their service and their product, so I want to help them. I want them to make their product and their services and their content, more meaningful for me or better. So I'm happy to fill this out so long as it doesn't take, more than a couple of minutes. So yeah, with the questions, I generally try to limit them. If this is kind of an initial contact point, I would really try to keep them to something you can answer in just a couple of minutes, and maybe only have one or two free-form answers, meaning plain text answers, and then keep the rest to maybe a checkbox or radio buttons, things like that. If you need something to use for this and you're not sure where to get started, just use Google Forms. Really easy to set up. Maybe not the prettiest thing, but it works. It's free, and people are very familiar with the Google ecosystem, so it's not, I think, asking too much. You could also embed Google Forms onto other pages if you want to do that. Okay, from there, I like getting notifications. I see all of these. I have them put into Slack so that I can see when people respond to this in various businesses. And then we also put them into Sheets, like a Google Sheet, and amass those in there so that over time we can look at these. And this is the really important part, is taking that, not just seeing them and saying, oh, okay, that's what that person answered, but then using that information to do something, right? To update something, to iterate and improve. And I think about this kind of like doing your daily review or a weekly review. On this case, with these, I don't know if that's really needed. Again, it depends maybe on what exactly you're doing and how many responses you're getting. But I do this generally monthly, and we'll go through and do like a word cloud and get all the survey data, and for one single answer, get all the answers and maybe create a word cloud and see what are the really common things that people are saying, and then just go through and do a scan through and see what specific things people are saying. Again, if there's something that could be improved, if there's something people really like, and then using that information to do something about. So really the only resources you need to get started with something like this, again, is Google Forms. Zapier is generally going to be the best way, although with Google Forms, you could have it embedded on a page, and then that would take all care of the survey, and then that can go automatically into a Google Sheet. Then you would just need something to remind you to do this monthly. So you could get away without doing that. I prefer to have them piped in somewhere where I see them as they come in. I like getting that information and seeing that coming in and knowing what's going on with people, whether it's Productivity Academy or other places. And then I just put in here email. Again, I think that's a really good one you can use. And asking for this in other emails you send people. You don't have to send just this one email saying, hey, please fill out a survey, right? You could include it, maybe a weekly or maybe monthly. Put it at the bottom. Say, hey, we're really looking for your feedback. We'd appreciate it. This has 3 questions. It'll take you 2 minutes and, help us do X, Y, and Z better. So hopefully that's helpful for you. That's just a way to get started. There's, of course, more you can do with this. The next one could be you could do kind of scoring on it by, let's say you have a Google Sheet and one of the answers is a free-form answer where you can type in there maybe, what did you like best about this service? People can type it in. Maybe you have then another column that counts the characters in that cell. So let's say someone answers and if it's over 100 characters, that means they typed, a decent sentence at least. They didn't just give a one-word answer or a really short answer. So maybe you get an alert now based off of that, and you do a quick follow-up. You email them back and say, hey, obviously you felt strongly about this. Is there anything else you'd like to share? Would you like to hop on a call? Things like that. There's a lot you can do, but that is just the overview for this. And I think, like I said, really any business can benefit from this. And you can set this up in 30 minutes, maybe an hour if you've never done it before, and start getting feedback right away from your customers, your clients, and it's really, really helpful. So with that, I'm going to check and see if we have any other questions. I don't see anything else right now. So I guess it'll be a short one for this week. We'll go ahead and wrap it up. Real quick, if you haven't joined the Real World Productivity Group, you can find the link below if you're watching this outside of the group. If you're checking out on YouTube, hit subscribe, stay up to date with the Productivity Academy. I do these weekly Q&As as well as app reviews, methods, strategies, anything to do with productivity, time management, automation, team building, all that sort of good stuff. So thanks for watching, and I'll be back next week.